I get this question all the time. What would I do if my volume just went to zero? And there are few things more stressful for a loan officer than looking at a pipeline and realizing there's nothing behind the loans that are currently closing. Maybe you had a strong few months and got busy working files. Maybe a referral partner slowed down, a few buyers backed out, or the market simply caught up with you. However it happened, you're now staring at a calendar without enough closings on it. If I woke up tomorrow, my production had dropped to zero, I wouldn't spend much time trying to make myself feel better about it. I'd want to know how I got there, but the bigger priority would be figuring out what am I going to do to start rebuilding first thing in the morning. I'm Dustin Owen, and this is the DO Show. They don't teach this shit in school, but they should. I'm Dustin Owen, and for the past 20 years, the mortgage industry has been my classroom. I've helped over 2,000 families become homeowners, built a $1 billion mortgage operation from scratch, and earned my way into the top 1% of income earners worldwide. Along the way, I became a real estate investor, a business owner, and have invested in over 20 tech startups, even hitting a 20x return on one of my investments. This isn't theory, it's experience. Welcome to the DO Show, where I teach the lessons life taught me the hard way. If my pipeline were empty, my calendar would change immediately. For the next 30 days, my main job would be talking to people. I'd still take care of the clients and loans that I had, but I wouldn't allow processing work, emails, or random meetings to consume the hours when I should be creating new business. I've watched loan officers spend an entire morning cleaning up their CRM or working on social media, designing a new flyer, or researching another lead company. They go home feeling like they worked all day, but they didn't speak with anyone who could put a loan in the pipeline. I'd start with the people who already know me. That means past clients, old pre-approvals, leads that went quiet, borrowers who decided to wait, and anyone who previously spoke with me about buying or refinancing. Most loan officers have more opportunities sitting in their database than they realize. The problem is that we tend to forget about people when they aren't ready to buy now. I'd pull a list and I'd begin calling. It's not going to be glamorous, it's not going to be sexy, but I promise it's going to work. The past client conversation doesn't need to be complicated. It's as simple as calling, introducing yourself, and letting them know that you're calling to check in on their mortgage. You want to make sure they don't have any questions. You want to see how they're enjoying the house. And more specifically, you want to give them an update on what's happening in the market, as well as what their home's value currently is. I'm not trying to pitch a refinance. I'm not asking them to fill out another application. I just want to connect. I want to hear what has changed and remind them that I'm still here if they need something. During those conversations, I'd ask about the people around them. Maybe their son is getting married and thinking about buying. Maybe a coworker just moved to the area. Maybe someone in the family wants to purchase an investment property but doesn't know where to begin. You won't find out unless you make the call. For many of you, you haven't been doing annual mortgage reviews. That's why I'd have you doing these calls. Now, if you're already doing consistent annual mortgage reviews, well, honestly, you wouldn't need this episode because I can't imagine that your pipeline would ever go back down to zero. I'd also review every old pre-approval and unfinished application. And I wouldn't just do it for me. I'd offer this to my top 10 most favorite realtor partners. There are probably people in there who couldn't qualify at the time, needed to save more money, or simply stopped responding. Loan officers are too quick to label those people as dead leads. A borrower missed 2 calls and we decide they're not serious? 6 months later, they buy a house through somebody else because that loan officer happened to call at the right time. My conversation with them would be direct. When we last spoke, you were thinking about buying, but it looked like the timing wasn't right. Did you end up buying, or is that still something you want to do? Some will tell me they already bought. Some will say they aren't interested anymore. Guess what? That's fine. I can update my database and move on. And if I'm really good, I can still ask them to refer me to someone they know who may be looking to buy a house who I can actually serve. And then you'll stumble across a few who are going to say, actually, we were just talking about trying again. That one conversation can reopen an opportunity that has been sitting untouched for a year. Once I worked through the database, I'd call every real estate agent I had a relationship with. I'm talking about current partners, agents I worked with 2 years ago, and agents I met several times but never closed a transaction with. I wouldn't send a mass text telling everyone that I'm looking for referrals. They already know loan officers want referrals. I'd call them individually and ask what they're working on. I'd ask them questions like, hey, how's business been? Are there any buyers out there that you feel like are getting stuck? Do you have any old leads that I could help you try to resurrect? Is there a listing that could benefit from some financing solution that could help move it? I want to give the agent a reason to continue the conversation. If they mention a buyer who is nervous about the payment, I'd offer to run a few scenarios and call the buyer with them. If they have a listing sitting on the market, I'd help them build financing options they can use to promote it. If they have 200 old leads sitting in their database, I'd suggest blocking an hour together to call through some of them. That's much more useful than calling and asking, do you have anything for me? I'd also pay attention to agents who are still building their businesses. Everybody wants top producing agents who close 50, 60, 100 transactions a year, but that agent probably has several lenders competing for every deal. Give me the agent closing 1 or 2 transactions a quarter, but they're working hard, they're answering the phone, and they're trying to grow. If we work well together, we have a chance to build something instead of fighting over whatever is left after the preferred lender gets the first call. Every one of these conversations would go into a follow-up system. It doesn't need to be fancy. I need the person's name, what we discussed, what I promised to do, and when I'm supposed to contact them again. The follow-up date is the big one. A good conversation today doesn't necessarily produce an application today. The borrower may need another 3 months to save money. The agent may want to meet next Thursday. A past client might need a week to connect me with their friend. If I leave those conversations to memory, I'm going to lose them. I need a date on the calendar and a clear reason to call again. I'd also give myself a daily conversation goal. I wouldn't track success by how many numbers I dialed because I can make 50 calls and speak to 2 people. I track actual conversations. I'd say my goal is 10 conversations a day. I would keep calling until I got to 10. Some days that might take 20 attempts. Others, it might take 60. I can't control who answers, but I can control whether I keep dialing. From those conversations, I track follow-up appointments, referrals requested, applications started, and pre-approvals issued. Those numbers would show me where the problem is. If I'm making plenty of calls but not speaking with anyone, I may need better data or different call times. If I'm having conversations but nobody agrees to a next step, I need to improve the conversation. If applications are coming in but nobody is getting pre-approved, then I need to review the type of borrowers I'm attracting and how I'm setting expectations. Production is a result. These numbers show me what is happening before the closing reaches the pipeline. I do most of this work early in the day. Once I open my inbox, take a couple of internal calls, and start working on active files, it becomes very easy to push prospecting into the afternoon. Then 4 o'clock rolls around, I'm tired, and I tell myself, well, I'll try again tomorrow. If my production were at 0, I couldn't keep doing that. I'd block the first 2 hours of my day for calls and follow-up. My team would know it. My calendar would show it. Unless a loan was about to blow up, I'd protect that time. I'd also take an honest look at how my production reached 0. Like seriously, what was I not doing 90 days ago? Did I rely too heavily on one agent or one real estate team? Did I stop contacting past clients when business picked up? Did I depend on company leads without building relationships of my own? Did I spend all of my time closing current loans without creating the next group of opportunities? The last one happens constantly. A loan officer has 8 to 10 loans in process and feels slammed. They're chasing documents, solving problems, and answering phone calls all day. It feels like the business is doing great. Then those loans close. 30 days later, there's nothing behind them because prospecting stopped while everyone was busy. That's the roller coaster ride that you don't want to be on. I'd make sure the rebuild fixed that problem. The goal isn't to work hard for a month, fill the pipeline, and quit prospecting again. I'd build a schedule I could maintain after business returned. I also wouldn't judge the plan after 4 days. Mortgage conversations take time to become closings. I may get lucky and uncover an immediate opportunity on the first day, but I'd commit to the process for a minimum of 30, but preferably 90 days before deciding it wasn't working. That would be 30 days of calling people I already know, connecting with agents, meeting with people, and completing every follow-up when I said I would. If I did the work every day, I'd expect the pipeline to look very different just 1 month later. If your production is down right now, start with your database. Call the people who already know you. Find out what happened with the borrowers who disappeared. Ask your referral partners what they're working on and find a way to help. You don't need to wait until you feel motivated. Put the time on your calendar, set a conversation goal, and start dialing. If you want help building the schedule, accountability, and daily plan to grow your production, visit our website, tloponline.com, and start your free 2-week trial of TLOP's Originator Coaching. We'll help you determine what activities belong on your calendar, track whether you're completing them, and make adjustments based on what your numbers are telling us. Again, visit tloponline.com to start your free 2-week trial today. I'm Dustin Owen, and I'll catch you on the next DO Show.